guys, it's Lisa, and today I want to share with you something very personal that I was thinking of the other day. I was at the pool with my family and I was just thinking of all of the many ways the carnivore diet has enriched my life. Honestly, it has been life changing. That is not an exaggeration. So some of these you may not relate to. A lot of these I think that you will, because if you're here watching my channel, you probably value your womanhood. You probably value your youth, your love of fashion, your love of life, and that is what this is all about. So when I first started Carnivore about 3 years ago, May will be 3 years, I was at the point in my life, of course I was going through menopause, but I was really having to face not being able to do the things that had always brought me so much joy. Those things like wear the fashion that I wanted to wear, get done in a day what I wanted to get done. I was having to take naps, I was in pain, and I just wasn't the woman, the person, the girl that I had always been. And then that was making me depressed. I remember thinking, gosh, if I feel this way and I'm only 48, 49 years old, what am I going to be like when I am 60, 70? I mean, my life is going to be over. So what I tried to do was I tried to adjust the things that made me fulfilled. I tried to adjust the things that I wanted to wear. I tried to adjust the things that I wanted to do. I tried to do all of these things to just accommodate how I was feeling, and that left me even more miserable feeling. I just felt like, okay, I can't wear high heels. I can't wear the clothes I want to wear. I can't really look at fashion and trends because I know that I'm not going to be able to wear it. It was getting to the point where I didn't want to do certain videos. And then if you've been here with me, you know I do an outfit of the day in every video. So I was having to dread standing up. And the things that you guys don't see is all of the footage that gets edited out where you're walking by the camera. Every video you're having a reminder of how you are not the woman that you once were. Now, I am not someone who always wants to look younger or be younger. I actually feel the best I have ever felt. And I mean that with my whole heart. I feel better now than I did in my 20s, my 30s. I would say in my 30s, you know, I was raising my children, my young children, and that was a happy time in my life. But I definitely have felt better in my 50s than I did in my 40s. So I want to share those things with you. And like I said, they're very personal to me. Okay, first of all, I am a person who loves to work. As a child, I loved making things and then I wanted to go around and sell them. I loved crafts. I just loved the hustle. I waitressed when I was a teenager. Waitress, bartended, hostess, cocktail waitress. I did all of that up until my mid-20s. And I've always enjoyed the hustle. I don't like sitting around. Even when I was a mom of young children, I always had something going. I was either sewing, making handbags, sewing, making window treatments. When Brooke was little, before I started sewing, I was always into something like making freezer jam or making the best pound cake that I could. I always had like something going. So when I got to be, you know, in my late 40s and I was going through menopause, I lost a lot of that energy. Therefore, I wasn't producing like I wanted to. And though I had this YouTube channel, I did not have the enthusiasm that I do now. And I felt hopeless. I really did. A lot of times I wanted to just give up on who I was and try to create a new person, but yet that wasn't working for me. So when I got on the carnivore diet, almost immediately, I began having more energy. I immediately started losing weight, started losing that really bloated feeling. I became much more clear-headed, much less depressed. I mean, very hopeful from about, I would say, 10 days in. And that increased all of the things that I was able to do to be a happier, more productive person. Less naps, more quality sleep at night. With losing the weight and not feeling so bloated and swollen, I was able to wear the things that I wanted to wear and just be the woman that I had always been. Another way the carnivore diet fit right into my personality and enhanced my life is I've always been the kind of person that if something is bothering me, I will analyze it to death, find out what the actual problem is, and then I want to solve it. So years ago, I realized with my YouTube channel and with the things that I wanted to do, one of the things that was holding me back was my weight. I had put on, pounds after pounds each year, and I had gotten to the point where I just did not feel enthusiastic about fashion. I felt very limited as to what I could do as far as outfits of the day, as far as taking pictures. So when I came across this way of eating and I was able to lose the weight, feel good, it just enhanced every single thing about my YouTube channel, in my opinion. Because what happens on YouTube is if you don't feel confident in the things that you're saying, in the things that you're wearing, in your skin, in the person that you are presenting, if you are acting like you're happy and you feel so good in these clothes, but you're really not, it shows and it affects your ability to get better and better. So the more confident I became in myself, the more videos I wanted to do, the more stepping out of my comfort zone, the more I wanted to dive into fashion, and it really kept me from feeling limited. Before that, I kind of felt like, well, I'm getting older, I'm going through menopause, I'm just not going to be able to do the things that the younger girls do here on YouTube. I really thought to myself, I'm not going to get noticed by any brands or, many people because I'm older and, just things like that. So it really did have an effect on my mentality. It had a big effect on my self-esteem, and therefore it had a negative effect on my life in every single way. Another way Carnivore has just enhanced my life so much is when I think back to how I used to stress about eating. Now, a lot of people say, how can you stand eating the same thing every day? You don't have to do that. That's just the person that I am. Even when I was eating my Zaxby's fried chicken salad, I ate it every day. When I was eating my Chick-fil-A chicken finger salad, I ate it every day. I go to the same parking place. I do the same things. That is just the person that I am. When we went to a restaurant, I got the same thing every time. That's what makes me happy. I'm a very scheduled, routine person, so that is the way I like to eat. But you don't have to do that. There are many different options on the carnivore diet. I just happen to find the things that I like to eat, like steak, eggs. I like chicken thighs. John does chicken thighs on the grill. I really love. And I like to stick to those things because now I don't have any stress over what am I going to eat. I don't have any bad feelings physically or mentally after I eat. I don't have to waste time figuring out what I want to eat. I don't have to waste time preparing a bunch of different things. I just know what I'm going to eat. I know what time. I know how I'm going to feel after I eat that. Therefore, I'm never stressed about any upcoming events. I'm never stressed about, am I going to be able to wear the things that I'm buying this year, next year? I have that security that the carnivore diet brings you. I know I'm going to feel good if I have any vacations or any events coming up this summer. Before, I would think to myself, okay, about a month before the so-and-so, I'm going to have to start dieting and exercising. I would think, okay, summer's coming up, like everybody does at the beginning of the year. It's time to get on your diet to get ready for bikini season. Well, I am just ready for anything. I feel good every day. I feel happy every day. There are few days that I don't feel good that have anything to do with my weight or have anything to do with what I'm wearing. I just feel that security most every day. I would say there might be 3 to 4 to 5 days out of, the year that I just don't feel good. And that is so valuable. That is much more valuable than any French fry. It's much more valuable than any, with me, even the salads. I miss eating salads, but they made me feel bad. Another thing that carnivore has really helped me with is I really enjoy sitting down with John in our home and spending that time together. We were a family that went out to eat all the time. We went out to eat, gosh, Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday day, and Sunday day of every week. Now, I love those memories because we used to have a good time. We had our routine. We went to Carrabba's on Sunday. We went to Mexican on Friday night. Thursday night, we ordered pizza. We had that routine. And I do look back at those memories of eating that yummy food, and I do have some really good memories. But then when it got to the point where those were not good memories for me, I would come home, my heart would be pounding. I would have to get out my heating pad, take a nap, and then you know what I would do when I got up? I would eat some more because I would feel so bad that eating was the thing that I looked forward to. It was just like this vicious cycle. It got to a point where I felt like if I couldn't do this, this, and this, I would go ahead and enjoy eating. And you don't realize how much of your time that takes. I didn't grow up going out to eat all the time. My mom cooked everything from scratch. So I think that there might have been a little bit of like entertainment value in the going out to eat. I had never really done that much. So that was just kind of like our activity. Now we look forward to dinner. You know, John will cook, him and Will, or sometimes, a lot of times, he and Will go out to eat, and they might go eat Mexican or something like that. A lot of times I'm working. Of course, your life changes as your children grow up. He's a senior in high school. Brooke is out of the house. But I just look forward to my dinner every night. I know what I'm going to eat. Like I said, I know how I'm going to feel, and I just feel so good about it. And it's just like, done. It's not that time going somewhere, that time coming back, and I have so much more time to do the things that make me feel productive and in return make me feel happy. This is a big thing, and I don't probably talk about it enough because I never realized what a big part of life it was going to be, and that is like my blood work and taking medications. Of course, when you're growing up, you're healthy, you're young, you don't really think about having to take blood pressure medicine. You don't think about having to take a statin for your cholesterol. You don't think about having to take iron because you're low iron. Well, when you get to be 52 years old, most of the people that you know have different issues. They're on different medications. They dread going to the doctor. They have all of these issues. It is so nice to know when I go to the doctor now, my iron isn't going to be low like it was. He's not going to tell me that, you know, I'm not overweight, but I probably need to watch it because every year I'm putting on about 3 pounds. I remember the gynecologist telling me that. And I don't have any issues really to discuss with the doctor. He walks in, you know, how are you doing? Great. You know, it's like I don't have any complaints. And he looks at my blood work and he's just like, everything looks great. And it's just such a relief. I don't have that stress over, are the medications that I'm taking, do they have bad side effects? And I never realized how good it feels to feel actually healthy and to not worry about those things and to know that what I'm eating is agreeing with my body. And I just feel so, this is another thing, I feel so clean. Like I don't feel like there's any junk in my body. It's almost like a baby. I'm on a perfect schedule as far as eating and going to the bathroom. I feel very cleaned out all of the time. And that just feels so good because before Carnivore, after menopause, I think just the whole hormonal thing slows you down, and I did not have that regularity. I had one extreme to the other most all the time. So I really value my health now. I value the sleep that I get. I value the exercise. I look at my health in a totally different way. I don't look at it as, am I going to have to take this medicine and that medicine? And, you know, is it just going to get worse and worse and worse? Another thing that I think Carnivore has just radically helped me with is my outlook on life. Before this, you know, like I said, I was wondering, is this going to get any better? But it's not just that. I kind of felt like, and I think a lot of women feel like this, you know, you feel like you have your 20s, then you have your 30s, and then you have your 40s, and you kind of feel like each decade is going to go, you feel like it's a reasonable expectation for each decade to kind of go downhill. And you kind of think, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this, I'm not going to be able to do that. And what Carnivore has done for me in this way of eating is it's made my life get even better. better. It's kind of changed my outlook on life. I never was someone who dreaded getting old, but I was someone who thought, and I remember thinking this in my 20s, I'm not going to care what I look like when I get to be 60. I'm not going to care about fashion as much and wearing what I want to wear when I get to be 60 and 65, because I automatically had that thought in my head that life is not going to be good, that those aren't going to be possibilities for me anyway. Now, I tell people all the time, your 50s are where it's at. I think women in their 50s are sexier than ever. I think we know what works for us. We know what works for our hair color. We know what works for our fashion. We know what works for our makeup. We kind of have gotten to this point where we're in our groove. And I feel the best I have ever felt. I don't feel inferior to my 20-year-old self, my 30-year-old self. I feel like I have been able to improve the things that I find valuable throughout my life in my 50s. And I feel more productive than ever. I feel more accomplished than ever. I feel more successful than ever. And that is due to this diet, because you don't realize how you eat affects everything. It affects everything. It affects your mood. It affects your mental clarity. It affects your hormones. It affects your health. And all of these things affect the things that you find valuable. Now, I'm not saying every woman out there finds what they wear and their fashion and what they get accomplished in a day and their YouTube channel and all of these things fulfilling, because we're all different. But I think if you're here and you're watching me, and you have been for any length of time, I feel like you're pretty much like me and you do value those things. Of course, I don't value those over being a mom and a good wife, but Carnivore has increased that too. There is no one in the world that can tell you that them feeling better, feeling healthier, having more energy didn't increase their ability to become a hotter wife in every way, a better mom in every way. I feel like going places with my kids now. I feel like traveling. I feel like doing all of the things that I did not feel like doing when I was laying there with my heart pounding, feeling bloated, kind of hopeless with a heating pad and a pocketbook full of Tom's Pepto-Bismol and all of the other things that I needed. So I hope that this has maybe inspired you in a way. I hear a lot of women say that their weight or the way they feel or their aches and pains keep them from doing the things that they find fulfilling. Well, if you can get down to the bottom of exactly what it is that is keeping you from accomplishing the things that make you happiest. If that means gardening, if that means cooking, if that means hiking, running a marathon, and that means anything, because we're all inspired and motivated by different things. That's what makes this world work. Another fun thing about Carnivore to me, and this probably isn't going to be for everyone, but I've always been a little bit of a lone wolf. I've never really felt like I fit in with a crowd. I've never been like one of the most popular girls. I've always been able to make friends and been kind of like on the outskirts of a group of people. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that that is not a bad thing. To be someone who can be part of a group at some points in your life and then feel just as good and fulfilled alone is such a wonderful quality. And sometimes I would feel like, what's wrong with me? You know, why don't I ever feel like I truly fit in? And then I learned to embrace that. So the carnivore diet, it feeds right into that part of my personality. So that's why when I am out of town with a group, it doesn't bother me to go eat somewhere separate while everyone else is eating, you know, all of the things that I can't eat. It doesn't bother me at all to find a place that serves steak or burgers or eggs and bacon, all of the things that I can eat, and be able to have that alone time. That actually is very, very fulfilling to me. I've gone into like just traveling, how good it feels to know you're going to feel good for the entire trip. You're not going to feel like you have to go to the bathroom. You're not going to feel bloated. You're not going to feel fat. You're going to leave the same weight that you did. You're not going to have to come home and dread getting on the scales. It just feels good. Now, a lot of those things are personal to me because it's part of my personality. But I do not mind being alone and eating. I can remember when I was in it might have even been, I know I wasn't even 21, and I worked at a restaurant. I can remember going there. Sometimes we would get like half off when we would go in and eat lunch. I would go eat right by myself. So I've never minded being alone. And now, as I've gotten older, I realize that's not a bad thing. That's one of the things that makes me different. It's one of the things that makes me unique. It's one of the things that allows me not to care what people think. It allows me to be myself so I don't feel like I have to fit in. So I don't feel like I have to eat what everyone else is eating to be there at the table or to join them later after the meal. So all in all, I know that I am a very unique person to be able to enjoy all of these things of carnivore. And I think each person can give you their personal story of how it has enriched their lives. And I never want to feel like I am pushing this way of life on you, but I want to give it to you as an option. I want you to know if these things bother you, it's worth trying. Never tell yourself you're never going to eat this, this, or this. Maybe give it a try for 1 month and see how you feel. But I would feel bad if I did not share this part of my life with you, because this is why I'm able to enjoy the other things that you see in my life. If I didn't feel good mentally and I felt depressed and I felt like my life was just going to get worse and worse and worse, I would not be able to bring the videos to you that I do. I would not be able to work like I do, and I would not feel like I could inspire you. How could I inspire you to live life to the fullest if I wasn't? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel and stay with me through this journey, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.